From trauma to joie de vivre. How is that possible? Welcome to Post-Trauma Secrets and Decluttering, where we go behind the scene and reveal how to free yourself. Come and discover the 4 dimensions of a decluttering journey with your hosts, Valerie and JM Tetro.
Welcome, wonderful souls. We are so happy and grateful that you're listening to this 6th episode, Trauma for Dummies. What trauma means. Let's start by definition. Google defines as a deeply distressing and disturbing experience. That is trauma. And from advanced trauma, there's something we call PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. This is a psychiatric disorder that may occur in people who have experienced or witness a traumatic event such as a natural disaster, a serious accident, a terrorist act, war or combat, or who have been threatened or serious injury. Something really hard for the mental situation. And another definition is OSI, which is used mostly in the military situation with harder situation, is operational stress injury. Is any persistent psychological difficulty resulting from operational duties, such as law enforcement, combat, or any other service-related duties. And the last definition I really want to read to you. Sorry for reading a lot in that episode, but there's a lot of subject that we want to pass on as it is in the book, so you get and you understand the reference. And this is from Bessel van der Kolk, a renowned professor specialized in trauma. Being traumatized means continuing to organize your life as if the trauma were still going on, unchanged and unusable, as every new encounter or event is contaminated by the past. So you're living the present from your past trauma.
And this is so true. You know, I suffer from PTSD, and you're not alone. There's 45 million people around the world that's suffering from PTSD. I was abused as a child by my grandfather. It affected all my child development, my teenage years, and beginning of adult life too. With the help of JM, I was able to get through it and recover. I now live the life that I wanted for so long. If you want to learn more about my story, go listen episode 1 to 4. But when we talk about trauma, there's multiple symptoms that may signal a PTSD. If you're battling with the idea that you are maybe suffering from PTSD and you're not sure, it's a good thing to go see your medical professional. And there's an overview of the symptom that they will assess. An intrusive thoughts, emotion, or images. That means these may include vivid nightmare, flashback, in which you feel as if the event is occurring all over again. The second symptom is called avoidance or numbing. For instance, you may avoid people or things that remind you of your trauma. Feel emotionally detached from the people around you, or block out part of your traumatic experience. The fourth one is hyperarousal. That means being on red alert all the time. Being jumpy, easily startled, having panic attack, being very irritable, and or being unable to sleep. You may also experience symptoms including body ache and pain, depression, or other mental disorder, or problem with drugs and alcohols. If you have any of all of these symptoms, seek medical help, because if you do have PTSD, there's help and hope.
Absolutely. There's so much of it, but it's still a stigma. It's still untalked about enough. But now we want to share with you some tricks that helped people that we know and our client or ourselves in difficult situation. So to work out of PTSD or trauma loop, when you get the sign, here are a few steps to get out of this, the growing stress. One thing is to sit quiet, calm. Try to focus on a wonderful and relaxing place. I'm pretty sure in your life you can remember, even vaguely, something very beautiful. So take 5, 10, 15 minutes, how long you can sustain, and stay focused on the positive and visualize it. And I'll tell you right now, Valerie and I have difficulty visualizing with image. But even if you're in that case, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel good and you think about the image. So if it's a beach, think about the sand, the warm and hot sand that you're walking on with the noise or the sound of the sea, and just visualize that wonderful place. Another one is to think about 3 or a little bit more things that you're grateful for. So, okay, I hear many of you saying, I'm not grateful for anything, or I cannot think about anything. Let me tell you that statistically, we are just so lucky to 1, be alive, 2, to have the sun and the beautiful sky to look at every day, except the cloudy day maybe, and that we have neighbors that we know or don't know of and that want to help us. So if you find or search hard enough, I'm pretty sure you can find little things or even a little bit bigger that you're grateful for, and write them down. Another one, exercise. So I'm not talking about hard fitness workout. I'm talking about walk, a little jogging if you can do it, or exercise or activity with your kids. If you have kids, if you're a parent, if you're not, find someone just to do a little physical activity. This is so good for the body. It will release serotonin and release anti-inflammatory. So from the mental and physical perspective, it has been proven for years and years that it's good to release the stress. 2 more, small one, but very important. Use an anchor. So we'll talk more about that in another episode, but think about something that will instantly shift you. So personally, I do have crystals, and I've attached positive feeling to the crystal. Every time I touch it, I think about something I love. So if sometime I'm not feeling good and touch it, the feeling will come, and it's used as an anchor. And the other one, distract yourself. I mean, I know Netflix is not the best place sometime, but sometime it's a good place. So music, Netflix, game with friend, with family, something to distract you, a book that you know has no trigger or negative thought that is getting you back in something you don't want to be. Something positive, light, and just distract yourself. What do you think, Valerie?
That's just fundamental. I was using coloring also. So, I want to bring a couple statistics here because I really want you to understand that you're not alone. They say that 70% of adults in the US, and this is according to United States National Institute of Health, 70% of adults in the United States have experienced some type of traumatic event at least once in their life. Do you imagine? 70% of the population at least once. That means it can be more than one. So, from those 70% of the population, up to 20% of these people will develop PTSD. That's tons and tons of people. It's important to know that you're not alone, but it's important to know also that PTSD is treatable. Just let's think about Whoopi Goldberg. She spends a lot of her time jet-setting around the world for her work. And what you may not know is that each time she boards the plane, she was having panic attack. So she was having panic attack because 40 years ago, she was standing on her balcony, enjoying the view and witnessed a plane crash mid-flight. Since then, she has struggled to board flights. PTSD does not discriminate by age, wealth, success, or fame. Trauma is a deep-rooted issue that can re-emerge years after the traumatic event had occurred. Thankfully, mental illness like PTSD are out in the open and becoming less taboo. But know that it is possible to recover from trauma and live a wonderful life. Remember, you create the life you want.
Thank you so much for taking time to listen to this episode. If you want to help break the trauma stigma, share this episode and give hope to your friends and let them know it is possible to get free from trauma. Valerie and JM want to help you further by offering you Declutter Your Life 101. Be sure to go to dowellht.com/free yourself. That's dowellht.com/free yourself to get your free quick summary and start your decluttering journey. Thanks again for tuning in, and be sure to join us next time to discover another secret on post-trauma secrets and decluttering.